Hello, thank you everyone for being here. It's an absolute pleasure to see so many people just like give up a Monday evening to come out and listen to me talk about DofE. It shows how keen people are, I think, within school and also as a parent group to know a little bit more, and hopefully what I tell you over the next half hour, 40 minutes or so will be a really good kind of introduction to what we're looking to do and how we're looking to change things. First of all, if there's any fire alarm for any reason, if you're on this side, please head out those doors. If you're on this side, please head out those doors. They will all go down to the same place, which is back out, and the fire assembly will be back out, essentially where the car park kind of section is in front of the assembly route. Hopefully there'll be no issues, because otherwise we'll all be standing out in the cold. But if that does happen, that side is on the side route, that side is on the side route. Toilets, if you do need to go, are back downstairs and along the corridor that you came along. So, DofE at Sutton High School. Really excited to be here and to speak to you guys. I'm a mover, so if that's going to be a problem, I might use the mic, you can't hear me. DofE at Sutton High School is hopefully something that everyone thinks about. So we have almost 150 participants interested in bronze at the beginning, and that goes on to around 120 people who come out to the expeditions, which is most of a year group. I'll introduce myself very quickly. So I'm Simon, Mr. Payne, to the kids, and I've come from another school starting here in September, where I was previously the Director of Outdoor Education over at Berkhamsted School. So similar size school, similar sort of remit, about 300 people went through the DofE award each year. There was also other kind of adventurous parts of it, so we ran between about 10 and 30 trips a year that were to do with different ventures, climbing, those sorts of things. I'm also going to introduce, because I'm very happy to find that my dog has been approved to come out on DofE. So I'm going to introduce Lisa, my young dog. She has recently been out on expedition with these guys. And has been a nice addition. But I do know that not everybody likes dogs, so if in the paperwork I'm saying, oh, the dog might be on this expedition, for any reason you say, my daughter, she doesn't like dogs, please let me know and she won't come with me. I'll make sure she's at home. As well as myself, there are loads and loads of people who help out with DofE at the school. And it's not by any means a small operation. I manage the DofE accounts and I organise setting up expeditions kind of things. But we've got the likes of Display, who's just to my left now. He's been instrumental in helping me to start off the bronze DofE, because I started in September and our first expedition was in October. And Mr. Osman downstairs is one of our DofE assessors and supervisors. We have around 10 to 15 assessors and supervisors in the school as staff who help out, and they get involved in all the expeditions. And then there's almost 50 other staff that do other things. A big part of that is the section assessors. So for every section that someone completes, they have to have an assessor's report. And a lot of our teachers get involved if it's music or particularly rowing. There's a lot of people who are involved in rowing, and coaches will often write an assessor's report to give that overview of kind of verifying that what your daughter has said she's done for her activity is correct, and kind of write a little report about it. Other people, we have 3 verifiers within the school, so once someone completes an award, they check through me, I check through their account, say yes, it goes to our verifiers, they check each level of the award of bronze, silver and gold, and then send it off to the local authority of DofE South East, who then approve it. So the approval process does take a little bit of time, so if you know you've got someone in bronze, in year 9 or year 10, and your certificates aren't there yet, it's normally because it's going through that approval process. And we also have lots of helpers, people who are interested in getting involved in just helping out on weekends with DofE. DofE is new to some people. Lots of people know something about it, but ultimately it is an award of achievement for young people between the age of 13 and strictly year 9 is the starting year, and 24. So anyone doing any level of the award can do this up until their 25th birthday. So those people who have completed perhaps a lot of gold award will have to leave school and still continue that. And they are supported even when they've left the school by myself as the DofE manager, If you've got a child who might be off at university already, still yet to complete their goal, I'll archive their award. They just need to get hold of me and I will activate that and complete that for them. It is one of the biggest kind of awards of its kind. There's the John Muir Award, which is more to do with conservation, but DofE is international. Mr. Blake over here used to run DofE over in, where was Mr. Blake? Bangkok. The International Award, and he's got his International Award tie on today. So it is big. And the idea of it came from the Duke of Edinburgh, as it was, when he was a boy, and his experience of court wisdom. That developed into the award that we see today. So it comes in lots of different sections, and 3 different awards. Bronze is the introduction award, and within each award section, there is a part that you have to do with your physical. So it could be walking to school, which does count. It could be that you're really into your rowing. It could be that you want to do something that is really physical. Some people make mistakes and go, I'm going to use rowing for my skill. Great, but it's definitely a physical activity, so you might want to use rowing, but perhaps it's a certain skill that people are working on. There's also a skill. So the skill is all about adding something extra to your repertoire of knowledge. For sixth form, often that means learning to drive. For some people it might be Duolingo. But there are loads and loads of options. And then a big one is the volunteering. Volunteering people find quite difficult to pick up because when you're younger it can be hard to find a volunteering option. But there are loads of bits of information, there's something called the DofE Finder, which will allow you to find an option for you. It's all about what you can do yourself. So 3 levels of awards. At once it starts off with a certain length of time for each section, and that increases through silver and gold. As well as the other sections, on the gold award, there is also a residential requirement. So people need to go off and stay away from home doing something. One of the big ones I'm pushing people towards at the moment is a revision camp before the kind of the main period of exams, because it can really help people to accelerate their learning. At school, we've got loads of options. So these are all DofE sections that are being achieved by pupils at school. We've got a garden that is maintained just down on the Thames. There is art that can be used. So if your daughter is doing anything in school that is strictly not during lesson time, it can count. So that can be clubs and societies, it can be lunchtime slots, it can be after school clubs, preschool training, any of those things count. What they can't use is their art lesson, but they can use their art homework, because that is their time outside of school. So the nuance of it is essentially, if it's not a lesson, it's probably okay. But what people do is they apply to say, I would like to do a certain section, and then I say yes or no. Often it's yes, I'm yet to say no to anyone except when they accidentally put in physical as a skill or so on and so forth. I did ask our DofE operations manager to come in to have a little chat from a DofE point of view. But unfortunately she wasn't able to come today, so I have brought up a short video from the DofE, and it just explains a little bit about what it is, and from the perspective of kind of the children who are involved. So up there should be a little video.
DofE has taught me skills that will always just stick with me for life.
You build these friendships with people you might never have met before. It's so nice to sort of lift your head and have a team of people supporting you.
It's definitely made me a more confident person. I'm young here as well, so I've always been quite shy, and this has really brought me out of my comfort zone.
I want to make sure I give myself the best possible opportunity for my future.
In job interviews, it can allow me to talk about more things more confidently and explain all the different skills that I've gained from it.
The experience offered me the chance to give something back to the community and make a difference to the people's lives around me who are less fortunate.
uno che ho headlight, non organic movie, for a thing.
I quite enjoyed working on this one and learning new things, and there's such a variety of things you can choose.
Look ahead, alright, so keep going, do amazing, keep doing it. So I was so proud of myself, I was involved in it.
You can take something you're already interested in and then take it to the next level.
Being in the wheelchair did really help adapt everything so that I could approach it in the way that I needed to.
Plus you're going to have a lot of funny stories to tell when you're really old and look back.
Doing beverage for everyone, there's so many opportunities.
Honestly, if you decide to take part and do whatever, you made a really good choice. You have changed your life.
Lovely. So, I think a big part of that video is that DofE is as inclusive as it can be. We will always look to point people towards what they're passionate about. And it means that people are able to achieve the things that perhaps they didn't think they might have achieved before. Particularly when it comes to expeditions, we are able to adapt expeditions around people's needs. So especially at the bronze level, there's lots of people who go, oh, you know, I've cut myself in sport, things like that, and the only thing that we need to ensure they do when they come on the expedition is attend and do the walking often with it. If there's something more where we need to plan around things, we can take people who are in other ways differently abled and thinking about what we might do. So we might look at things like a canoeing expedition instead of a walking expedition, things like this. So if there are things that you're thinking, oh, is it okay? Can we have these things? There are ways to plan around it. Because all I need to know is things in advance so that we can do it. If someone hurts themselves a week before, let me know, and we'll probably make sure that we carry their bag between legs on the expeditions. As expeditions become more kind of far-fetched and away from far-flung, sorry, and away from your regular kind of school area, which is where we start with bronze, things aren't as adaptable, but we'll always try and do things where we can to ensure that everyone can achieve as best as possible. One thing that everyone does talk about, especially the kids, is expeditions. People honestly believe that once they've done their DofE expedition, they've completed DofE. It's definitely more than just expeditions. DofE in general, when you see people go through the programme, builds people's confidence by allowing them to have different experience. Something I specialise in kind of through the outdoor education side of things is non-academic cognitive development, making people better at being themselves. And that's really what DofE is. It's holistically going, okay, you do this, how can you get better at it? And allowing people to explore things that excite them inside and outside of school. And it really lets people just be themselves. What I'm going to do is I'm going to ask Holly to come up. I've made a few notes. Holly's going to talk about her DofE experience through the bronze, silver and gold level. I believe you've made some notes, and in case I've written down a few questions. So Holly, please come up. Thank you very much.
Hi, so my name is Holly, and I thought, I'd share a bit about sort of bronze, silver and gold, because obviously we've just done our gold expedition, so I've got quite a good insight to all three, and talk about the differences between the three, and just how much fun it was. But first of all, kind of why I decided to start DofE in the first place, doing silver. Like Mr. Payne said, so many of the sections were things that I was already doing. So I did dance classes, I was doing ballet, and I played the flute. So actually I thought this sounds like I can get a certificate for all the stuff I quite enjoy doing already. So I was like, yeah, sure. So that's kind of why I initially did bronze. But also loads of people in the year were doing it, and I thought it would be a laugh, and it was great fun. And then after bronze, I didn't really anticipate that I would enjoy as much as I did. So I thought, oh no, I don't think I'm ready to stop yet. So I did silver, and then due to COVID, it was slightly different for us because of when we could do our expeditions and stuff. So my bronze and silver expedition was kind of combined. So my silver practice was my bronze expedition, and we did our bronze at Hinchley Wood and round, like near our sports grounds, and then silver we did in Box Hill. And that was really fun and enjoyable, and I was doing it with all my mates. And yeah, for my kind of volunteering, I did it with Mention's Children's Charity, which was like really rewarding actually. And I think, yes, you can do your skills and your physical stuff that you might already be doing, or maybe you're just doing a fun new skill. But actually for me, the volunteering was something like really valuable that I've like been able to put my personal statement and my CV, and yeah, it was just a really nice thing that I kind of can reflect on. But yeah, so that's why I think like those so far I've been having a great time, and I thought, oh, I guess I'll do gold. So I think I was quite worried about doing gold, that it would be a lot harder than silver, that I'd struggle a lot like kind of physically, but actually I didn't find that the walking distance was too different, just kind of the terrain obviously. We were in Brecon so it was pretty hilly. But the hills were so much fun that actually like a lot of my favourite memories was some of my friends kind of falling down the hills. I went into doing DofE kind of without managing to get any of my good school friends to do it. I was kind of like, come on guys, like, it's really good, and they were like, no. So I went in, I was like, okay, like, I think this is going to be good. Obviously, a lot of familiar faces, I knew they were lovely people, but yeah, I'm really grateful that I actually came up with some really nice new friendships. And for me, my favourite day was, it had been quite a tough day of walking, there was a lot of rain, but we'd gone and found our way to a campsite where this guy, this farmer Thomas, has built like a lovely kind of sheltered like shed area with sofas in just for DofE groups. And we got in and we kind of all sat on the sofas, and we wrote our name on chalk and our group names on the wall. And we all just sat around and like played games, played cards, and really got to know each other. So I think like as a bit of advice, if you're a bit worried about maybe not knowing people or not having really good friends that are there, actually you've got so much time to chat and sing songs together that maybe not knowing people is actually really helpful, because there is so much to discuss. So I think that's kind of my most memorable experience. And I'd say, yeah, to anyone kind of starting DofE, I think just like make the most of it, use the experience to make new friends and chat to people. And yeah, I don't think, what else is there? I mean, another key thing is like the food was really funny. Because we were on the expedition for a whole week. Obviously, we're carrying all our stuff, it's really heavy. So Mr. Payne and the guys would get this dry expedition food, which we're pretty like it's powder. We looked at these packs, but yeah, we rated them out of 10 every time we tried them. We just add water, it just like magically turns into like a whole meal. So that was quite fun and like really quick and easy. And there were a few dodgy meals, so that was quite laughable. But yeah, I think that's kind of what I'd say.
Thank you, Holly. I think one of the big things that people think about when they think of DofE is that kind of boost to things like applications to university and to work. Ultimately, I really think that what DofE offers people and kind of that experience offers people the ability to say something when you sit down on those interviews. It's not holding up a DofE gold or bronze or silver certificate, because it's just like having a 25-minute swimming badge for some people. But having the ability to sit there and go, I did this in time, and I got through it. And I got through it because my friends were there, and there were people around me. All those experiences where people volunteer, and I've had pupils volunteer at places like hospice, and seeing end-of-life care have really impacted them to a point where they changed their lives, worked towards becoming a doctor. And those sorts of things can be the things that make DofE not just that bad, it's, wow, they've done something, and pupils can sit there and go, actually, I know what I want to do in my future, just from having that opportunity. So it kind of pushes towards those opportunities. Moving forwards, I do want to talk about kind of the expedition dates, and don't worry, I will make sure this comes out in a booklet as well. But we have a plan moving into next year to run expeditions from March all the way through to October. So I've asked for approval at the kind of SLT level of school to essentially try and fix things in place so they are the same each year. So that instead of thinking, when in May is it likely to be, I try to find spaces where A, pupils will be able to come in, do their expedition and maybe have a half term afterwards and not be too tired, or beginnings of holidays or ends of holidays, where it's not going to take away everyone's kind of opportunity to go away. I know that as an independent school, our summer holiday starts a bit earlier, so that first week is always a prime week to go away. And I try where possible to move things. So in March, we're going to do DofE Silver Training, which will be the first weekend of Easter. Okay? And then at the end of Easter, we're looking to invite bronze pupils to do 1 day of training on either Saturday or Sunday. And then we'll concentrate on the bronze DofE. We'd really love to see all pupils finish the expedition side of DofE or bronze in May. So we're looking to put on the bronze expedition practice and the expedition final just after the early May bank holiday and at the first weekend of May half term. So that's where we're looking to do things. And then in June, we'll look to put on the Silver DofE. This is often run during activities week. So it's something that happens during the school day. We get lots of people, they will help out and do this. And then at Gold, we're looking to put training in the second week, essentially, of the summer holidays, and then look to do our final in October half term, so a similar time to when these guys go through it. This will be available, and I'll go through a little bit more details. But my hope is that as parents, you can go, these dates will be the same year in, year out. I am aware that there are often clashes. I've already been told that lots of people will be rowing on the first weekend of May bank holiday. So there is a plan to help that as much as possible. If there are clashes, then we can do things like using the next section or next awards level practice as a find. Or pupils can attend the next year with their friends. I would love to be able to throw expeditions out left, right and centre, but I need to try and plan these in. So if there are lots and lots of people who are unable to attend and some of the other options aren't there are equally options where I can help to push people towards open awards. So there are lots of companies who will offer these during a time that might suit better. But if there is any issues and there are any clashes, please let me know well in advance so that I can try and plan that in. And the more clashes I know, the more I'll be able to turn around and go, okay, let's find another option for these pupils. I think probably on clashes. So we do have costs for DofE, and I'm just going to go through them now. What we're trying to do is we're trying to make sure that everything is as simple and easy to kind of look at as possible. So there's enrolment costs, which cover the cost of school running DofE at the DofE level, as well as all the participant packs and certificates and things like that. Gold is slightly more expensive. It's slightly more expensive because of the invitation through from Palace for inviting parents and pupils through. So DofE charge a little bit more, so we charge a little bit more as well. What's included in the kind of enrolment admin speed is my time as much as possible to help tailor people through the award, all the packs, all the certificates, and all of the extra stuff. It also helps us to be able to maintain our equipment and to help out with ensuring that we have verifiers and in-house training at school. The in-house training side of things we're looking to put in when it gets a little bit warm, so we're not bringing the girls out to the quad and getting the tents out in the rain, but I will let all the kids know about when that's happening and when it's going to be, and the opportunity will be there for everybody. We do have a little DofE video from our last DofE bronze. The girls were offered a lovely camera to head out, so just for the next couple of minutes, you've got, I think, Team 4 from our last bronze expedition and their trip, and they seem to have a wonderful time.
Hey guys, we're going to TV! Woo! It came to be our starting on TV. Let's go! Hi guys, so we're in like building this right now. You can do it when you can do it. Then we reach checkpoint 1! Woo! Guys, we're stepping so quick. Woo! How's everyone feeling? We've got a lot of steps to do. Girl, this is the view. Guys, we'll just walk up and try how's everyone feel? Okay, you can't touch it, breathing. There's a tree. Everyone go. Right guys, we are so you just went to checkpoint 2 and then we'll just checkpoint 3. Woo! Guys, you can tell over. How's everyone feeling? We're like halfway to checkpoint 3. Hey guys, you stopped for like half a month. Everyone smile. We've done checkpoint 3. Now we're on the way to checkpoint 4. Hi guys, so how do you go up the Wire hill? By mine I mean like not wire at all. You've reached the campsite! Woo! Yeah!
Chris kind of put that video together, but he essentially just kept a camera and gave it to the kids to take out with me, so it was lovely. What I'm going to talk about now is just going through all the expedition packages. So what we're looking to do is we're looking to support people as best as possible through absolutely everything. So to give everyone enough training with regards to expeditions, especially at the bronze level, to do a really successful expedition. So I'll go through them now. It will include prices and just an overview of those dates, as well as the way we're going to be looking to run them. What we're looking at is the bronze package. The bronze package is £300 and it will be a 5-day package. That will be 1 day training in school and then 2 full expeditions. So instead of kind of splitting the package up into this one expedition, it's another expedition, we're throwing it all together with regards to cost. If for any reason someone can't make an expedition, by all means let me know and I'll make sure that the appropriate cost is refunded back to you. What do they get for that? We're going to do in-school training for each of the pupils. It will be the hire of the DofE equipment that we have here at school, so that will be use of tents and tranches and gas and those sorts of things, and making sure that those items are cleaned and reusable at the end of each expedition. We are also looking at things like safety supervisors, so every expedition group has a safety supervisor and also assessors, which often is an additional cost depending on how many people we come in. We're looking to partner with an expedition company so that every DofE group has a trainer and a supervisor assessor, so that they get the very best value for what they're doing. So instead of having, maybe a trainer per 2 groups, we're looking to have 1 person per group. And those people will come in from a company called Required Expeditions, who we're looking to partner with at least for this year. We'll see how it goes and see if we want to make changes for that in the future. The expedition itself, as I said before, we're looking to have DofE training on a single day. And that'll be kids come in at the end of Easter and do a Saturday or Sunday. Initially, we're going to look to do that by planning alphabetically, so A to K, depends on how many people are from K onwards, or A to N, and so on and so forth. They'll do that in school, and they only need to do 1 day. That'll be how to use cookers, how to do those sorts of things. And then we'll invite people to come to the DofE practice expedition, and that'll let them put those skills into practice. The first day of that will be with an instructor. They'll take them out and make sure that their skills on the ground are going to match what they need. With first-time camping for some people, so we'll make sure that they understand how to stay nice and safe, nice and comfortable, more importantly, at night, and nice and warm. Lots of people think, oh, it's all about a warm sleeping bag. If you don't have a problem with that, you're going to essentially sap all that heat away to the ground. And then we'll let them out on their final expedition, which is where they're remotely supervised. So the kids will be over doing their expedition, and the supervisor will be keeping an eye on that. What the supervisor's job is to essentially watch them on the tracker and make sure that at all times they're seeing through critical places, so where there's road crossings and things like this. So it ensures that the kids not only have the ability to be on their own and feel like they're on their own, but also without them necessarily knowing, we're often just around the corner and sometimes getting on a video as they do something silly. It's always a shock to them as they pop up and then supervisors suddenly there. But that is our bronze package. The final dates we're looking to put at the start of May half term. Silver's going to be a 6-day package and will cost £400. It's going to be 2 sets of 3-day expeditions, and we'll cover all the costs that are associated with the bronze, so we'll offer all the same things, plus we'll make sure that we are organising the transport to and from here, so we don't ask you to throw them out to the south coast or something like that. We will look to get big buses for transport so we can come to and from here. And then we've got plans to do our practice and training essentially together, so we'll have 3 days of practice and training. We'll have a half day at the end of school is our plan, so they'll finish school on Friday at about midday, and then we'll walk them out to Hinchley Wood, get them camping. We're really interested in making sure that people can do camping for 2 days, because don't know if you're anything like me. If I go camping for 1 day, I'll have a lot of wet kit the next day, and we'll just ignore it perhaps for a week. With children, that could be 2 or 3 weeks, and so you end up with lots more kind of kit to sort out. That's not possible if you do it over 2 days. Your equipment will be wet, so you need to get disciplined into doing that. So that's why we definitely want that 3-day practice and training expedition. And again, what we with them will be looking to give them more skills with regards to navigation training, and also how to keep dry and safe over 2 days instead of 1. The expedition final will look to be the Ashdown Forest, more than likely, and we'll be running that within our own kind of staff body where we can. So we've got our assessors and supervisors, and that's going to happen during activities week. So it's part of the school week, which means you can pack them off and not have to cook as much dinner at home because they won't be there to eat it. As I said, we're going to do that internally where we need to, but often we might need to hire in additional people to make sure that everyone has a supervisor and an assessor. At the gold level, we're looking to introduce the package with 2 expeditions. So that will be a 5-day training expedition out in somewhere like the Brecon Beacons, or we might go further afield to somewhere like North Wales. At the moment, we're planning to use the Black Mountains, which is next door to Brecon Beacons. That will ensure that everyone knows what they're doing, that they can stay warm and safe, that they are understanding all of the navigation techniques that are specific to the mountains. This year we did a 7-day expedition, which was kind of a conjoined practice and final, because we were forced to move that into the same space. We want to have a decent amount of time for pupils to attend training and have that practice expedition before they go on to the final. Sometimes fitness might be something that needs to be worked on, sometimes it'll be skills. And then we're looking to do the final expedition out probably in the Brecon Beacons or North Wales, and that will be in October half term. So those two expeditions together, the package is a 10-day package, and we'll also look to have individual tailored training for each pupil. The reason it's a fair bit more expensive is the way we need to run things is out away from our local area. So everything becomes a higher cost, travel, and those sorts of things. The package also involves having trained and assessed mountain leaders with each group. So we make sure that we have professional mountaineering people like myself, take them out and make sure they really get those skills. We might look to add another certificate or certification to this award as well, called the National Navigation Award Scheme, and I'm looking into whether or not we can accredit that, which allows pupils to finish with another award. Coming up next, we have it's not one. Best experience from the DofE, and this is kind of her overview of what it was like to be on the DofE Gold Expedition. She was unable to come tonight because apparently her birthday was more important, and she wouldn't decide to come here instead, hang out for a meal. So she has recorded a lovely video, and I was overjoyed to find how passionate she is. So it is about 6 or 7 minutes long, but please do listen in to Beth, who was absolutely wonderful.
Hi everyone, I'm Beth. Today I want to talk a bit about my experience doing the gold training and qualifying expedition with Surbiton, which was super fun. We did it in October half term, so sort of towards the end of October, which was quite cold, but it was absolutely amazing. I'm going to talk a bit about what we did. So we went up to Brecon Beacons, about a 4-hour drive, which was really fun, and we kind of started training straight away. We did, on the first afternoon we got there, we did kind of navigation practice for a few hours, which was really valuable. We went out with an external assessor called Tamsin, and she kind of taught us kind of the 5 Ds of navigation, and kind of how to navigate in low visibility, which particularly as we were doing it in winter time was very useful. It was really valuable as well to kind of practice navigating in legs, which is where you kind of split up the route that you're doing, and to learn kind of what features to look for, how to know you're in the right place, and what to do if you get a bit stuck. That was really valuable, and it's a skill that we all built upon doing our qualifying later on. We also did that evening first aid training, which is obviously essential to doing any sort of expedition. That was really valuable, particularly for my group. We had a girl with severe nut allergies, and it was really helpful to kind of know what to do in that scenario, just in case, you know, we had to use the EpiPen, for example. We also learned about kind of CPR, and also about homeostasis and regulating those body temperatures, which can be affected by going to kind of the more mountainous climates that we were going in. I also think kind of the training in general was really useful because our assessor and teacher, Mr. Payne, was really good at kind of assuring us that we were capable of doing these things, and I think it gave us quite a lot of confidence to be able to go out the next day and start our practice, knowing that we'd kind of been prepared sufficiently. They did also say at the time, you know, like if you didn't feel particularly confident in an area, you could have extra kind of help with that. So for example, I was really struggling with canvas bearings, and Mr. Payne kind of sat down with me separately and taught me how to do them, so then I felt able to do them properly, and I used that skill later on. In terms of the training expedition, this is really valuable because we kind of learned what it would be like, kind of doing the routine, putting up the tents, learning how to use the stoves, and kind of getting used to the food that we were using, because we used kind of dehydrated food in bags, which is something I've never done before. Kind of just general familiarisation with the equipment was really useful. I also learned that my boots were no longer waterproof. Yeah, I'd say it was overall very useful. And in the final expedition, that was 4 days, 3 nights, so that's kind of longer than the practice. In that we kind of, I'd say like it was, it did feel longer by the last day, but it's really important that we had that base from practice, but also from silver and bronze. It was really valuable to kind of build up, and you could kind of feel yourself being tested, but you did have something to kind of fall back on. You had those skills within you, and you kind of been able to practice them. So I'd say the longevity of gold, like, whilst initially that was something I was a bit nervous about, it wasn't something that perceived to be a problem because we kind of got into the swing of it. On gold, DofE, you have to do roughly 8 hours of planned activity. But something I didn't know that Mr. Payne told us was that doesn't all have to be walking. So my group, our aim, because you have to have an aim as your group, our aim was to create like a video which would be kind of a, like a guide to gold DofE. How do you go about it? What are the key skills? So we kind of would spend, at least an hour a day kind of filming content for that, having fun with it. Talking about kind of plans for the video, which gave us kind of stuff to do while we were walking, but also meant that we could sit down, we could have those breaks, and we didn't need to be walking for all 8 hours. And the distance each day would vary based on how you plan your route. So it was quite useful to have that kind of planned activity time, which you make yourself, to kind of balance out the walking, and that made kind of the process more enjoyable as well, because it felt like we were kind of passing on our knowledge, and the video itself has turned out really well, so that was really, really fun to film. I'd say in terms of the final experience as a whole, I found it really, really challenging, but also so rewarding. I think it was one of those things where I was really tested mentally and physically, but also I learned so much about myself as a person, and I really pushed myself. And I'm kind of so proud to now look back and say, I'm so proud of the group and everyone that did it, because it was so tough, but it was so fun. And I really wish I could do it all over again now. And kind of just even speaking about the experience now is just like made it really kind of nice to think about. But I think it is so worth it when you're pushed in that way, and it's not something to be intimidated about because you are prepared sufficiently, and it's not necessarily going to be like a smooth sailing process the whole time. But I think DofE's taught me that that's okay. It's just really about kind of finding how to cope in those situations and how to make the best of it. Whether it's just singing, walking down a mountain in the pouring rain, or if it's helping out a team member when they're really upset. It's really about finding that kind of swing as a group, and I found that really, really rewarding. I think, just on top of that, like, DofE was probably one of the first times where I really thought about and learned what team really means to be in a team. There's going to be times where people are, finding it a lot harder than others, and there's going to be times where people are like absolutely loving it, and it's all about how we work together. And I found that really, really nice to kind of get to know people in my group so much better and be able to be vulnerable in front of them, but also to have a good time with them, tell jokes, sing songs. That was really, really great. I think also the other thing I really liked about DofE was the views, the scenery. That's a big appeal, especially in gold. We went to Brecon Beacons. I think the highest mountain we climbed got written down 886 metres. Penny Van Mountain, which was just amazing. That was such a great day. Reaching the peak of that, I felt so proud of everyone. It was such an achievement. And we've got a really great photo, which is really, really good. The terrain varies so much. Kind of, you're going up mountains one minute, you're going through a forest, another minute you're walking through a stream, the next. That was really fun as well, because it made the walking itself really kind of varied and really enjoyable, and didn't really know necessarily what was coming next. You could kind of see on the map, but kind of what you might expect, but it was really interesting to kind of see how that actually played out, and if there was a challenge or if the route was suddenly blocked off, how do we adapt to that? That was really, really interesting and really rewarding. I think overall, I'd say just Gold DofE was just such a wonderful and worthwhile experience. I'd absolutely recommend it. I think it's one of those things that everyone kind of talks about, like, oh, you did gold, or oh, gold sounds fun, or I'm not sure I'll do that. But if you're thinking about doing it, or if you've heard about it, it's much something you're interested in, absolutely just go for it, have a look at it, come talk to me about it. Anyone here at the evening, I'm sure will be happy to talk about it, but I think it's just one of those experiences that's so special, so worthwhile. And I absolutely loved it. So thanks so much.
Thank you to putting that video together. Kind of overview of this already, we're looking to do expedition training in kind of start of summer, and then looking to do the final expedition in normally the first week of October, just because of the start. sooner otherwise. As I said, all of the gold DofE is going to be taught and assessed by professional mountaineers, people who go out and do these things day by day, and then supported by school staff who are able to help out with all the pastoral needs, so that we have a really great team based around that. In the future, this is something I'm quite excited about. I've approached the company about running expeditions in 2025, waterborne expeditions. So looking at probably around the Easter time, maybe in the summer, DofE silver and gold, because bags are heavy. People like to put them in boats and paddle with them. Expeditions, initially we're looking to do UK rivers. I've got contacts out in Sweden as well. So looking perhaps to have that as an opportunity for people now starting bronze and silver to look at doing a canoeing expedition in 25, and perhaps even a Sweden expedition in 25 or 26. So hopefully this will all come through, and I'm really happy to say that we'd love to see these things happen. It will initially be capped on the number of people who can turn up, because otherwise you have to start chartering planes. We will cap it probably to around 18 people to begin with. If it's really popular, we might see how we expand that to much larger numbers, or running lots of expeditions, spend half our time out on boats. So just final thing is how to sign up. I'm going to send everyone a letter. Okay, and that letter will be specific to the award level that your child is under, so bronze, silver or gold, and it will have more information on it. There's an information pack that will come out that will have the overview of the information from here, and anyone who's not here and might be looking at this video afterwards, the video will be attached that we've got recording in the background. I'm going to pop it back onto the expedition dates calendar, because I think that's quite a useful kind of view to leave behind us. I'm going to invite everyone up to essentially ask any questions. So please raise your hands. The girls will happily answer the questions. Mr. Otterman and Mr. Blake will happily answer the questions. And we'll try and do as much as we can. If you'd like to stick around afterwards and ask any independent or personal questions, please do come find me. I'll probably be here. And I'll be able to help you as much as possible. So thank you very much. Thank you for contributions from Holly and of course from Beth. And